from the pond. It's the pond. We've got ducks, we've got geese, we've got chickens, we've got turkey, we've got guinea fowl, and orders for all of our birds and hatching eggs are open. I opened up our turkey orders. Well, let's see, it'll probably be 2 days by the time you see this video, but as of recording, I opened them yesterday afternoon. So in less than 24 hours, I've almost sold out of all of our turkey egg for the season. If you are seeing this message and you want turkey eggs, better get in touch with me quickly because they're selling quick. And once they're gone, they're gone. I don't have a lot of turkey. So I get a limited amount of eggs every season, and I make sure that everybody I commit to gets their eggs. All our little chickens are hanging out. Yeah, what you doing, Mr. Rooster? Our chickens are bantam cochins. They lay little tiny eggs, but they're just so cute. And these guys are really just pets. I would call them a backyard quality flock. They're not show birds. While I love them and I look to only have the bantam cochins so that we do maintain that breed and that standard, it's not like the turkey, the ducks, and the geese where we work to improve them. Cochins are on the Livestock Conservancy list. Typically, though, that's the large fowl. Bantams are usually not in that count. They're just cute. And I don't breed for color. I have lots of different colors in my flock. They intermix. I can't tell you who's the pop and who's the dad, who's the mom and who's the pop of either eggs. They just are what they are. And so every time I hatch chicks, I get a whole assortment of fun things, and I never know what's going to pop out. What are you staring at, mister? You're giving me the eye. Oh, I can hear baby goats hollering. So the Royal Palm turkeys, they are my favorite. I did get a question the other day, and I know I've addressed this before, but we've got lots of new viewers, and it's kind of neat to address it again. Why do some of my turkeys have tails and others don't? And you're looking at really the dominance aspect. This is breeding season, so our toms, while they don't fight, right? These guys are not drawing blood with each other. They're not trying to kill each other. There's no fight to the death. They are in breeding plumage. You can tell by how blue their heads are. Look at how pretty that is. But this poor little guy who has 0 tail feathers whatsoever, he's bottom of the pecking order. That's really what happens when they're having their dominance debates, is the tail feathers fall out or get pulled out. It doesn't hurt them. They grow back, but you can tell who's dominant. So he's bottom. Then we got this guy who has just a little teeny tiny bit of his tail left. He's still okay, but he's number 2 from the bottom. And it kind of proceeds upwards from there. None of them are in pristine condition because even the most dominant do take, a beating. But that's really what the tail feather situation is. And after breeding season, they'll molt, they'll drop their feathers, the feathers will grow back, and everything will be just fine. And they'll start all over again next breeding season. And that's just how we roll. Got my ducks over here checking me out. How come you guys aren't swimming? Probably also because it's breeding season. All 3 of these guys are drakes, and they're all relatively young drakes in comparison to some of the other drakes I have in the flock. So they are probably getting their rear ends kicked and have formed up a little bachelor pack here, which is actually pretty cute. So as always, we're like 3/4 of the way through the video, and I just realized that I forgot to give my intro. So here we go. I'm Pam. Welcome to Racing for Home Farm, where the animals rule the schedule, and I just try and keep up. Nothing here is planned, obviously. Nothing scripted. I record the animals as I see them, and thankfully most of them are pretty darn cute, and makes up for the lack of skills that I have. I'm taking a quick stroll around the pond, kind of looking for eggs. The ducks especially will randomly lay eggs anywhere. So at this time of the year, there's a bit of an Easter egg hunt every day. It's always nice to do it when the weather is cooperative and it's not dark or raining. It's also quite nice out. It's quite pleasant out right now, which is why all the birdies are out and about. And all I'm doing is I'm kind of looking at all the nooks and crannies. Sometimes they'll come over to the trees, which are starting to bloom. They don't have their leaves yet, but they're starting. We are almost in spring. Technically, we're officially in spring. The weather hasn't yet decided that we're there yet, though. But we're getting leaves on our trees, and these will provide shade. And often I'll find an egg sitting right here. Today, not so much, which is good. It's always nice when they don't drop their eggs in the middle of the yard. I lose a lot of eggs that way because the crows come down and they are big enough that they just grab the egg and take off. And it actually took us quite a while to figure out what was going on. We kept finding eggshells in random places that they shouldn't be. On the driveway, over by, the hangar, near the house, out in the pastures. Out in the pastures is even funnier, right? It's like, how in the world? So, of course, both Farm Hubby and I had our own opinions, right? I kept thinking that he was dropping my eggs on the driveway and then just leaving them there, and I was so frustrated with him. Well, he thought the same of me, and he thought I was just being too lazy to clean up after myself. I was concerned about the loss of my eggs. He's concerned that I wasn't cleaning his driveway. Regardless, neither one of us was doing it. And it literally took 2 years of this going on every season before finally I happened to be looking out the window one day and I caught it where the crow came down. We're wide open here, right? It is fenced in to protect from predators, but it's not, there's no ceiling, there's no roof. So yeah, the crow came down. There was an egg that had been laid in the middle of the pasture because that's what ducks do. And the crow picked it up, flew up and out, came down. This time he happened to actually come down in the driveway. I did take pictures of it. Of course, they're pictures through a window, through a screen, using an old school cell phone camera. So they're not the best pictures in the world, but I documented the little bugger taking that egg over to the driveway, dropping it on the driveway to break it open, and then sitting there and having a meal. So, we owed each other apologies for thinking poorly of each other. And that solved the great egg mystery of how we were finding eggs just randomly all over the farm. Nowadays, we've corralled that quite a bit because I do come out more often and look for eggs, so I try not to let them. That would be our guinea fowl, alarming at I don't know what, probably the dog, even though by now she should know it. Between her and the turkey, it's hard to get a word in edgewise. At any rate, I do come out, I collect eggs now, mid-afternoon if I'm home, if not almost as soon as I get home from work instead of waiting until it gets dark. And we've solved that problem. So there you go. A little story about how smart crows can be and how silly humans can be. With that, I'm going to collect some eggs out of the coop and then I'm going to get back to work because the job ain't done. Until next time, bye for now.